Well, howdy doody, folks, and welcome back to the Creeping Swarf channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the differences between a few different types of dirt boxes. We've got Boost, we've got Fuzz, we've got Overdrive, and we've got Distortion here. As we get to each pedal in the test here, we'll talk a little bit about what each one is and what it's doing to our sound. But for now, we're just going to be playing each one a little bit through a clean channel of a Laney lead top amp in a 1x12 mic'd up directly into Reaper. And that's what we'll be doing. So, first things first, let's get one of these hooked up, get it plugged in, and let's hear what it sounds like. Okay, so the amp we're using is the Laney lead top. It's a solid state amp. We've got it on its lowest wattage setting for bedroom practice and recording, and we're just on the clean channel, and this is the sound that amp makes through a 1x12. Okay, let's engage this volume boost. So as you can hear, it does add a little bit of gain, but it doesn't really make it heavy. It's not like a distortion by any stretch. It really is just more volume. And as I turn this up, it's just give us more volume. So that's what a boost pedal does, is it adds decibels to your signal. So let's get into the next one. So the next pedal we're going to be taking a look at is the Orgrim Fuzz from Craft Brutal Effects. This is just a simple one knob fuzz. So what's the difference between fuzz and boost? Well, boost increases volume, fuzz creates clipping. Fuzz creates the most clipping. In terms of what all these different types of pedals do, clipping is when your sound is a wave format. Clipping means the tops and bottoms of those peaks and valleys are getting cut off, creating what people call breakup or gain. So really high clipping can create almost sputtering effects because there's those huge gaps now. So let's hear what fuzz does to our signal. We're going to start by turning the pedal all the way down and engaging. Okay. So as you can hear, fuzz just gets crazy with it. Absolutely insane sounds. That's only turned halfway up. It only gets crazier from there. But we're going to start clipping at our input signal at the microphone. So we don't really want to turn it up anymore. This is the most volume we really want to add to this. So let's just get into this next pedal. Okay, so for the third pedal we're looking at today, we're taking a look at the Omega device from Vexed Brain. This is an overdrive and a preamp. So we're going to ignore the preamp side because we're going into an amp. But what is an overdrive? So if a boost increases volume and a fuzz adds the most clipping, what does an overdrive do? Well, an overdrive is an attempt for people to recreate and simulate tube breakup in a tube amp. Think of it as like an extra set of gain staging that you can use to either push your already dirty amp to make it even dirtier, or you can use it to create some breakup on a clean amp. So because we're using a clean amp, we're just going to be creating some extra breakup. Let's hear what that sounds like. Okay, so why would you want that? Well, if you have a solid state amp and you want it to sound more tube amp like, that breakup is pretty similar, really. I have a tube amp right next to it. It's a very modern, heavier tube amp, but similar breakup. It's not that far off, especially in a recording setting. That's when it becomes even more difficult to really tell. So we can, with this pedal here, we can add more drive and get some more breakup. Get a little bit of a pinch in there, maybe. And you can add volume to it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the last gain pedal that we're going to be looking at today. Okay, so the fourth and final pedal we'll be taking a look at today is distortion. And what's the difference between distortion and everything else we looked at? It's most similar to fuzz in that it is still clipping your signal, but has some of the qualities of like maybe a heavy overdrive. So you don't get the chaotic sputtery that you get with fuzz. You get something a little tighter. And it's a lot of music you hear from the 90s was pretty distortion heavy. Early 90s was all very distortion heavy. Nirvana used a classic Boss distortion. The one we're looking at today here is the Rotten Sorcerer from Hagtronics. A pretty basic distortion with some really cool cosmetic features. But what we're here for is what it sounds like. So let's hear it now through the Laney amp. So now you've heard the differences between boost, overdrive, fuzz, and distortion. Which one do you need for your rig? Let me know in the comments below which of these pedals you thought sounded the best. I will put links to all four of the pedals. Well, only two of these pedals are even available. Actually, only one of these pedals may be available to purchase, but I will put links in the description to it. And let me know if there's something else you guys want to hear from any of these specific pedals, or maybe you want to hear what the difference between a preamp and some of these pedals is. Just let me know in the comments. Thank you for coming by the channel again. I appreciate you guys. You guys have a wonderful Sunday.